Okay, so it's 4:07. We'll start it there. We're gonna skip over the minutes, wait till we have enough people to vote on it. FHS BC website updates.
So no real updates to the website. We got some new photos. I haven't had a chance to switch them on the homepage just yet. But I figure once this newsletter is all set, we'll get that up on the homepage as well. And I think that's pretty much it.
And we did, I don't remember the timing of the drone video from last time, but we have a new updated drone
Right.
flyover.
Oh, very nice.
So it does look nice with the progress, and I think eventually, because we have them go periodically, we'll be able to do a full, time lapse of the building.
Right.
So it's right on the homepage when you get there. There.
Oh,
747 coming from land.
Yeah,
I know.
Are these the new,
yeah, this is the new one,
stop right there.
but it was good timing with the leaves still on the
foliage.
trees.
It was a
looks
nice
good.
day.
Yeah, it was a nice
Yeah.
day. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool to
view.
see, yeah,
And even from, because that was a few weeks ago.
yeah,
From where we're at now, the brick is actually wrapping up on area E, which is your auditorium. So that area,
all his brick.
well, not
The
this
back end
facade,
is coming
it's halfway up that facade. But that back end is all bricked up.
Yeah, when I dropped the kids off for football, we saw it. Lines up.
You know, it's not such an ideal site.
Mm.
Have it next to the old high school.
It
is.
Versus plenty of new site.
Yeah.
How much money do you think that's funding a new site? They had to buy land.
Well, we had a whole subcommittee vetted, and it's like, there's not a lot of space
I know that.
available, it's deed restricted, it's, there's flood considerations, utilities.
Everything's wet.
And then another one was like, we would have to do a land swap, and it has to be for the commercial purchase, it would be costly. To find the space that we needed to.
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit on one of the newsletters, but never went in how much actually money by just building on the site here save the town.
Yeah.
In the tax base.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that's the website
Great shot,
updates.
yeah.
Pretty cool to have the new updated drone footage. We can move on to review the content for the FHS BC newsletter. So at your spots, you have an update. The message from the chair mirrors what is on the website now. It's pretty much just a snapshot of the work that's been completed and kind of what's underway. We use the same language that we had in the last one about how we're committed to delivering a project on time and within budget. And then just included in this newsletter are recent photos of construction project, just kind of short and sweet, but here's an update on that. The Q&A section, what is the proposed schedule? Are we on target? This is directly from our Q&A section on our website so that, it's consistent. There's continuity between the information that we're putting out. I was thinking, Ira, when we kind of designed this, that because we have a phase 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
we completed phase 1, so maybe like a check mark,
Yeah.
like something to be like, this is complete,
Yeah.
this is in progress, and this is upcoming, to kind of show that, we're working through it. The next question, will the 1928 building project impact the high school project? Again, this is directly from the Q&A that already exists on our website, and it kind of says how we're collaborating. There are some site work changes with the tennis courts, but go to the 1928 for specifics on that project and really explaining how they're two separate projects. ONG Builds program is the next section. Nelson provided some information about the programs.
I'll say it better myself.
Well, Devin put that
Great
together,
job.
so great job.
Yeah,
About the types of programs that they're running. Nelson had a session earlier this month with some photos, which is a really cool thing that we wanted to highlight in the upcoming newsletter, that not only are we making progress on the building, but it's an educational tool as well.
Can we get a quote from one of the kids or somebody who's actually participated in this? Personalize a little bit more, what they get at, oh, I never knew this, I never thought it was a career, tied to some educational thing. Can you find somebody that can be tough to get?
Yeah, I mean, I would think just Russ and maybe Katie Bloor could
you know,
Yeah, I think that they
Westwood
can,
student, a high school student can
Right.
talk about it.
Yeah,
And I
'cause
know it was very exciting.
It might be a quick interview you might want to put on the website if you can arrange it. I mean, this is a really interesting thing. I've never seen this in all the work I've done in school. And having this, kids might be interested. And so you want to sell a little bit as an idea and to do it. So
I
you
wonder
might
if
beef up the article a little bit.
I wonder if 905 News.
Hmm?
I wonder if the news program.
well, the 905 News did 2 segments last year on it, but they can interview one of the kids that have gone through.
So it's on, we can pull something out of that then. Did they say that?
I would
Well, you
assume
have
that.
more
they are.
visits, right? You have more students coming through,
Kind of.
right? Or you don't?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have IR's
I think
kids
Kathy would be
coming,
More
good to
kids
kind of
coming
peek
down.
a little bit
and
more.
then on
Other than
December
stating what
4th,
it
we
was.
have more FHS kids.
Is this program over with or is it still?
No, it's ongoing. They're
What's the next
offering
Once a month.
once a month.
When's the next one?
I have IR students on Monday, and then I have, Farmington High School students on the 4th of December.
I even get a quote from them.
You know, last year I brought up the Fox 61 student news, and then when I was at the award ceremony, I saw Farmington had a segment in, so I was glad to see that Farmington kids actually participated last year. So following up with Russ, why not get those group of kids and have them do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Fox
Sure.
61 news segment, so they're the ones interviewing, they're the ones creating the story, and they have access to
Right.
everything.
Yeah, because I believe the 905
Oh, that's the
is
group.
what they,
Oh,
is
okay,
what
sorry, I
they
didn't
used on
realize
the
905
Fox.
was that.
Yeah.
They use that footage,
Are they doing?
what's her name?
Someone at the high school. coordinator.
We could just talk to Russ, but for
Okay,
this newsletter, I'll just reach out to the 3 principals and they will
okay.
get a quote and they'll have the student's photo and make sure permission
Yep,
is granted.
Yeah, I think getting it more personalized, saying, gee, I didn't know, yeah, even at that age.
I think it might have been in the board update. That,
Oh. And.
I know I saw it somewhere from Westwood's visiting. So, in our deeper learning updates to the board, so I'll have to look,
I made sure to include it in the.
because there might be some
Updates.
nice photos.
We have some good photos too that I can send you to make sure they're vetted and
Yeah.
approved and everything like that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect, so that's the O&G Builds program that we really want to highlight. The remaining sections are just like our standard thing that we include, committee members, how to contact us. And then one additional thing that we wanted to add is on a separate paper page here. We had been talking as a subcommittee is kind of like, what's a nice snapshot visual representation we can have to show progress on the project. So Russ Arnold and I were kind of sitting down thinking about this a little bit, and one cool thing that I don't think a lot of people understand the way that ONG does it is area A will be done, then B will follow, then C, then D, then E. So it's not gonna be the entire building at once, it's kind of like an assembly line. So we verified with George, the superintendent, this is as of the end of October, but the percent complete for each of these areas to kind of show how things are moving. And it's just like a quick visual
I
representation
think,
of progress.
just for a town resident
Yeah.
that doesn't know the layout of the building, just saying classroom area A, classroom
I like
area
that.
B, arts area C,
We can put a contact.
cafeteria, gymnasium area D, and area E, your,
Auditorium.
Right there
Auditorium.
on the labels, yeah.
just so that they know, okay, this is,
Yeah, I like that.
Auditorium.
I like that idea.
Is there an office too? Is that an area?
the area E,
Area
so where the 30%, that's your administration, but just
Okay.
so that they get their, just a general idea,
some
what's area A?
Right, because those could be, they don't know.
You could put auditorium, office area or something to that, / office areas,
Yeah. I like
or
that.
administration area.
And then area C is like the STEAM areas, right?
Would they know what STEAM is?
I would say just arts, because you have your
Or
What-
tech cards, right?
tech and arts, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go to the tech.
I don't wanna use tech,
Yeah.
you corrected me a while back, but your arts, like,
Arts.
but even auto and woodshop is an art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
true.
So it's your arts wing. In my report, I call it the
put
arts wing.
perfect.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
might
think that's a
be-
good suggestion.
It might be good, instead of kind of cluttering all the copy, just say A, so you have like on the side there, so.
Or yeah, just doing a
Yeah,
little,
and a little more
Let's see
description
that.
about this area E is gonna have this, you can maybe, rather than trying to squeeze that in,
squeeze it into.
otherwise we gotta eliminate.
Yeah, you could
Leave
put
it,
a little
I kinda like
Like a
legend.
legend, like a little.
Yeah,
But the only way it would work with copying is you have to eliminate all the color bars you have in there. That would be the only way to put all that copy, but kind of like color bars, break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can just, have this, a little bit more, what's going on area A classrooms, if there's certain kinds.
What's like the classroom?
And then we can have a photograph next to it, what,
Yeah,
what the
classroom,
building is.
but I would just say classrooms.
All right,
Yeah.
All right, so I think this was like kind of what we had been talking about,
Right.
just a way to give a snapshot that tells people this is the progress, this is how it's moving along, in a quick reference, so,
And I like that it's right here on the plan.
yeah, exactly.
and give me a quick sentence too, if you can, about why it was done this way. In other words, save time and money, whatever that might be, or is it more efficient, or is it just, does it really matter?
That's more information
Doesn't
that
affect
they,
anything.
it really doesn't serve the purpose of this slide is what percentage are we overall?
So it's just,
I
okay,
think it's too much. It'll get too busy.
okay.
So, that's all we have. Anything you think?
I
we're
do
missing?
wanna bring up time capsule.
Okay,
So, I brought it up a while back. I know Ira, you brought it up as well. Every project that I do, I always propose a time capsule. I like to do them in the auditorium because there's always a cavity or a space and it's your public space. There is a nice spot, second level, chase wall that will never be accessible. That we can have a time capsule put. I leave the time capsule portion to the town. Get us a box full of stuff, then we'll seal it up. We'll create a shelf inside that cavity. And then we can always do, we'll have to place it, and it's not a public event, so I can't have the public in the building, but we can have like administrators or whatnot, seal it up, and then we put a little plaque on the wall saying time capsule, do not open 50 years or whatever.
Yeah, we can put it in a newsletter. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is a PR opportunity as much as an activity that you just do. One is reaching out to the town and say, do you have any mementos? You might be deceased, you might not. And saying, so it has some history to it. So it isn't just today's stuff, but it gives some context to that. Someone might have a yearbook from 100 years ago. You want to do something where it should be from
It's a
now.
fun thing
I think
to
it's
do.
for the-
It provides engagement.
Is it for the year of the construction or the era of the construction that you're kind of looking to capture in the capsule?
It's just whatever the town, sometimes they could put an iPhone in there, or they,
Well, we always talk about.
Something about the time
Yeah,
that we're living
like
in
years
now.
ago, it was a
when the-
newspaper
Well, there's two ways
clipping.
to
I
look
would
at
put
it.
some
One is
articles about,
The rich
even
history of
actually,
public education, Farmington School.
Got the
the
pattern.
newsletter.
Yeah.
actually, one of
Oh,
our,
yeah.
in the preservation,
Yeah,
even though
I think at the
this
time
has
it was
nothing to
built.
do with the 1928 building. You have, in Preservation, Connecticut, which is one of our coworkers up at the main office receives this. It's about preserving jobs throughout Connecticut. In 1928, building is in there with an old picture of the high school without the auditorium.
Is there a time
So you could
capsule over
put-
there?
Like a clipping of that article, or the kids could come up if you put a survey out there, what should we put in a time capsule? And then let the kids come up with ideas,
Right.
Yeah.
you really don't
Put
want
it
to
together.
put something that's
Yeah.
electronic.
Like those murals that they did at Westwoods, where I think that was the 10th year anniversary. Those are kind of like open time capsules, I think of it. I don't know if you noticed those.
But something where nothing crazy big, but there's the last school actually. Put no and G gold shovel in there, which I'm like, you guys could have come up with a better idea, like a ceremonial shovel. But that's what they picked.
Yeah.
But,
Common practice at time capsules and buildings and schools.
so, we have a little bit of time, but we don't have a.
What is the timeframe?
I'll get more precise. If we can't get in that spot, I can always put it in the apron of the stage. There's always a cavity there. I'd like within a month or 2 months, January timeframe, be able to place it.
Maybe you can ask each grade level.
Yeah, either
I would like to do.
student council or,
That's perfect.
I think the first graduating, they would be great, a great group to think about what is meaningful. What are some things going on in, whether it's high school life or just in general in the world right now, I think that would be a really exciting project for them. And I'm sure there are teachers and students really would want to be part of that. So, I could talk to Russ, and also Kim and Veronica, our curriculum, because it could really tie nicely into one of our electives or, some of just our core academic areas. So we could talk to them.
It's exciting if they come up with the ideas. We could throw out what we think,
Yes.
but it's their generation that you want to encapsulate.
Right, it's an expression of the times that they're.
Well, it's also a nice transition. You have people from the high school now going to the new one, so you can have some classmates. It'll be the last ones here, and they'll be the new ones there.
Right.
You could put a newsletter in.
Yeah,
One of our newsletters in there, our annual global showcase, that document, our VOGC, yeah. I can think of a lot.
There's a lot of documents.
Do they still have school newspapers?
What's that?
Are they still doing student news?
How big is it?
Yeah,
You
oh,
see,
yeah.
Yeah,
a Time capsule.
printing is.
Is it like a strong box?
Yeah, just something like 3 feet.
Can you
by-
get it, can you get a size that might determine how
Okay,
much?
but they can print it.
Yeah, I could,
For sure.
Might help out.
it's gotta fit in the
On the
calendar,
website.
but it's,
Beginning of the
yeah,
class of 1981.
I'll get,
Oh,
2 by 2 feet,
Or 25 years
whatever.
high school,
If
like
you
I have it in my
Google,
office,
like,
I can scan it.
time capsules, they'll give
You
you
might be- I might
standard sizes,
know.
but,
Go
you
in,
know,
I might send it
just
over.
go in a
It's
metal
interesting.
box, or what do you,
It's
how do
very
you?
interesting, but that's what it's
it
asking.
could be actually any box, cause it's gonna be interior to the building. When you do a exterior, like if it gets buried in a circle or whatnot, or in a foundation or a wall, like an exterior wall, that's when you have time capsules if you don't use the right box. Everything gets destroyed in there. But inside the building, over at Buckley, it was a wooden box. It was actually wooden box for a shovel.
Where's the flagpole gonna be?
On this corner of the building.
Okay.
There's actually gonna be multiple, 3 flagpoles
But they leave the flags up all the time now, too,
lit up.
Yeah,
seniors.
we had to change
So-
orders, like,
Kind of just throwing out there, I know you guys were talking about one for students and you had 2 spots. Do you think that, I'm just wondering if people in the town will be like, oh, we want to be part of this time capsule. Could there be one that's like students and then
I
one
wouldn't
that's
do
town?
2 separate.
They could do
If
one
you
from the
do one,
1928 building.
You
Oh,
can
yeah,
have,
that's right, that's right.
yeah, you could, that would probably be more appropriate for.
Flag or something like that.
time too, like, that's a pretty big undertaking.
And that would
If you want, if you
real
are
nice.
up against, like, I need to get this in the next 2
Yeah.
months, I just
Well, high school, I
notification.
would focus on
Students.
students,
yeah.
and then that's probably more appropriate
Yeah.
for, because that's more of a town building.
Well, no, that's good, because now if somebody comes at us and say, oh, why can't we participate this?
Hey,
Right.
you
At
never
least you
know,
have say.
we might
have
encounter some
1928.
time capsules in that building once we start.
I was curious
Demolishing.
about that, yeah.
It's called the attic.
I know it's way down the road, we're gonna plan some sort of ceremony when school opens.
Yeah, we had talked, and I think we kind of put those discussions on hold for a minute, but of a ribbon cutting once they're kind of like in the building and comfortable and potentially tour, stuff like that to show off the building, but not like, I think we need to focus on
You gotta give it a month. 2
getting in the
months into
building,
the
get everything
school.
Yeah,
settled, and
because
then
every-
October.
Administration, kids, everybody's getting accustomed to a new building. There's always I think into the October, maybe after conference or parent
Yeah.
conferences or something like that.
Is there gonna be a plaque with like names?
Yeah, they're actually, we're going through that submittal process right now, the early stages, so.
I
We're
have
working
homework
on-
to do on that, but.
and,
Yeah, I
you know,
think Richard mentioned that. right?
Yeah, we need to just. In the past, what, what names were on it, because there's been, there's changeover of the committees and everything, so like what,
It's been
what
going
have
on for a
we,
long time.
what have we historically done for the
Right.
names on the plaque and remain consistent with that?
Yeah, that's usually inside your main entrance to the high school. That's a nice,
It's like a time capsule, call it a day.
You're right though, because there's been people that revolved, like I replaced somebody
Right,
and then a few other people moved out of town and then we've had.
yeah, so we just wanna, and I'm sure that happens on every committee, so, just wanna make sure that, we'll look at what we did for Westwood, we'll look at what we did for, when we did our police department and
Oh,
our
yeah,
senior
yeah.
center, and just make sure that we're
Yeah.
remaining consistent with that.
and we have a little bit of time on that, because that's something that, gets installed at the very end, so
Yeah,
But it's on the radar.
right.
it's being talked about.
All right. Do we have any other business? I think the only other thing that we had, but we can't vote on it, is to cancel our
Oh.
next meeting. But, the full committee is gonna be canceling their meeting too, so no business. So this one will be canceled for December sixth, and then I believe the meeting after that will be December 20th. I think in the meantime with the newsletter, we'll take this content, we'll get it to Ira, he'll lay it out. And then, I think the goal would be to get things out to houses in
Be early
first week or
December.
two December.
Yeah. You get it before, you don't want any letter afterwards, they don't see it.
In our next December 20th meetings, we can just go back and vote on this.
On the minutes, yes. Yeah, because we want to get the newsletter out, I think, after Thanksgiving, but before the rush, before people aren't. Crazy.
It's gonna go, they'll be in the households the second week of December. If we get this to me.
I'll get it
The next day or
tomorrow,
so, I'll get it in production.
Just
I'll
me
go
and,
through some changes, but I'll.
me and Meg that votes, so it just literally has to be with us. I was just trying to see if there's a third person. Something else she doesn't.